everyone, this is Chetan Singhal. Welcome to my channel Stat Shine, where knowledge shines to make you shine. In this video, we'll be learning about partition values. So in my earlier videos, we have studied about median, which is measure of central tendency. So median, what it does, it divides the data sets into two halves. This is median. So 50% of the observations are to the left of it and 50% of the observations are to the right of it. So we have two sets of data over here. The median divides the data into two sets. So this is nothing but a sort of partition value. So similarly, we have different partition values. One is quartiles, then we have deciles, and then we have percentiles. So quartiles. So what are quartiles? So quartiles are the quantities which divides the data sets into four equal halves. Right? Q1 is the first quartile, Q2 is second, and Q3 is third. Q2 will be nothing but median only. So each of the partition will consist of 25% of the data. This is 25. Each partition will consist of 25% of the data. And in deciles, there are 10 partitions of data. Right? D1, D2, D3 till D9. And each partition has 10% of data. That's why it is known as deciles, deciles, right? So each partition has 10% of data, right? Now we have percentiles. In percentiles, we have 100 partitions of data, or it's even more general, right? So suppose I say P70. What does that mean? It means that 70%. What does that mean? It means that 70% of observations are less than or equal to P70. Right? So suppose in our data set we have P70 equals to 81. So what does that mean? That 70% of observations are less than or equal to 81. So it's a relative measure. Like in many exams, you have seen that we don't get percentages in our results. We get percentiles because it's a relative measure. It measures you on the basis of the performance of other students. So as it's saying that suppose your marks were 81, right? So your percentile score was 70. Percentile score was 70 because you were better than the 70% of the students, right? So this is the percentiles. It divides the data sets into 100 partitions. So these are quartiles, deciles, and percentiles. So why do we want to partition the data set? What is the use of it? So partition basically helps to analyze the distribution of the data, that how the data is distributed. Like here we are only calculating three values which we partition the data sets into four parts, right? So suppose Q1 turns out to be 10, Q2 turns out to be 40, and Q3 turns out to be 50, right? So what we can say from here? So 25% of the observations are less than value 10. Between 10 to 40, there are again 25% of the observations. And again between 40 to 50, there are 25% of the observations. So between these two, like here is the gap of 30 and here is the gap of 10 only. So if we see, this part is more closely packed as compared to this part. Here 10 to 40, it's more scattered, and here 40 to 50, it's less scattered between these. So it's also help us to calculate some sort of skewness in the data, So there is one plot which is known as box plot, which is constructed using these measures only, quartiles. This we'll discuss in another video. This is a very important plot which is used to describe the distribution of the data and the skewness. Right? So these quartiles along with deciles also, they help us to determine the distribution of the data. To dive deep into the data, it helps us to give more interpretations of the data, that how the data is being distributed in different parts of the original data, right? So now we'll calculate these measures in different data sets. So consider this example. We have this data observations 120, 150 and so on. So the very first thing that we have to keep in mind while calculating these values is that we have to arrange the data in ascending order. So here if you see, it's already arranged. So suppose if your data is not arranged in ascending order, so please arrange it first, and then we'll calculate these. So Q1, so it's nothing but size of n plus 1 by 4th observation. Why we are dividing it by 4? Because quartiles, they divide the data set into 4 parts. That's why we are dividing it by 4. So if you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there are total 10 observations. So 10 plus 1 by 4th observation. So it is nothing but 11 by 4 equals to 2.75th observation, right? So this is 2.75th observation starting from the first one. So this is first, this is second, this is third. So this is 2.75th, right? So what we calculate is second observation plus 0.75 into third observation minus second observation. So second observation is 150 plus 0.75, 170 minus 120, 150. So why we have done this? So suppose this is our second observation and this is our third observation. So our Q1 lies here, 2.75th observation. So if we see, it's closer to third one. So hence we are giving more weightage here to the third observation. So if you just calculate this, it would be nothing but second observation, and here it's minus 0.75. So it's nothing but, if you see this, it's nothing but 0.25 into second observation plus 0.75 into third observation. So we are just taking the weighted sum of these two, second and third observation, where it's more weighted towards the third observation because 2.75 is more closer to third observation. So it's something giving the weight more to the third observation. So if we calculate it, and the way we write is second observation plus 0.75, the difference of these two. So if we are taking the difference of these two and we are multiplying it by 0.75, so it is 150 plus 0.75 into 20, and it would be nothing but 165. So our Q1 turns out to be 165. So now we'll calculate Q3. Q3 would be similarly the size of 3 n plus 1 by 4 item or observation. Here we are multiplying it by 3 because it's the third partition. It's the so as we have seen, it's Q1, Q2 and Q3. It's the third partition. So the 75%, so it's nothing but 3 by 4. If you see the factor, so it's 3 by 4, that is 0.75, and here it's 1 by 4, 0.25. So 25% of the observations are less and 75% are, so hence it's 3 by 4. So if you see 3 into 11 by 4, here it was 2.75th observation, so here it would be 33 by 4, 8.25th observation, right? So if you see, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8th observation is, so this is 8th observation plus 0.25, 9th observation minus 8th. So this is 192 plus 0.25, 200 minus 192. 200 minus 192. 192 plus 0.25 into 8. This is 2 and 194. Right? So we have calculated Q1 and Q3. So in this way, we can calculate of a discrete series Q1 and Q3. Now we'll calculate the decile values. Here we'll calculate D9. So it's 9th decile. In general, dk is equals to kn plus 1 by 10th observation, right? So it's n plus 1 by 10 because it's divide the data sets into 10 equal parts. Hence it's, we are dividing it by 10 and we are multiplying it by k. So if we see D9, it would be 9 by 10 n plus 1 th observation, right? And here is 10. If you see this factor, this turns out to be 0.9. So this means that 90%, we are calculating the value such that 90% of the observations are less than that value, right? So this is 9 by 10 into 11. So this is 9.9th observation. So this will turn out to be 9th observation plus, we see 9 plus 0.9. So here there is a factor of 0.9 in addition to 9th observation. So we are 0.9. So this is 10th observation minus 9th observation. So this is 9th, if you see, is 200 plus 0.9, 210 minus 200. This is 200 plus 0.9 into 10, 200 now, right? So similarly, in this way we can calculate any decile value, D9, D8, D1, D2, just simply putting the values of k over here, right? Now we'll calculate P70, 70th percentile. In general, Pk is kn plus 1 by 100th observation. So this 100 comes from the fact that percentile divides the data set into 100 equal parts, right? And this k is the kth percentile that we are trying to calculate. So P70 is nothing but 70 into 10 plus 1 by 100 observation. So if you see this factor 70 by 100, this is 0.7. What does that mean? That 70% of the observations are less than or equal to P70. So this is into 11, 0.7 into 11, 7.7 observation. So this is nothing, 7th observation plus 0.7 8th observation minus 7th observation, right? If you see 7th, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7th, this is 190 plus 0.7, so 8th is 192 minus 190. This turns out to be 190 plus 2, 1.4, 190, 1.4, right? So we have calculated the percentiles also. So similar way we can calculate any percentile, 80, 90, 21, 32, any percentile that we want to calculate. So this we have calculated for a discrete series. Now we'll calculate it for a frequency data. So now we'll calculate these partition values for this frequency data. So first of all, for this frequency data, we need to calculate the cumulative frequencies. So the first one is the same as the frequency 3, then it goes 3 plus 4, 7, 7 plus 5, 12, 12 plus 12, 24, 24 plus 10, 34, 34 plus 7, 41, 41 plus 5, 46, 46 plus 2, 48 and 49. So these are the cumulative frequencies. So what does that mean? That if we read this line, so this is 13, right? And its cumulative frequency is 24. So till the observation 13, including 13, we have covered 24 observations, right? So now we'll calculate Q1 first. So as seen earlier, it's nothing but the size of n plus 1 by 4th observation, and n is here 49. So it's 49 plus 1 by 4 equals to 12.5th observation, right? So this is nothing but 12th observation plus 0.5 into 13th minus 12th observation. So 12th observation, if you see from here, so cumulative frequency 37. So you just have to see the cumulative frequency around greater than this. So this is 12th observation is 12 and 13th observation would come here. So 13th observation is coming out to be 13 only in this question. So this is 12 plus 0.5 into 13 minus 12. So this is 12 plus 0.5 equals to 12.5. So if you are confused, look here. So this says that 12 occurred 5 times. 1, 12, 12. And this is nothing but our 12th observation. And after that 13 starts and it occurs 12 times. So it will occur 12 times. So if you see, this is our 12th observation and this is our 13th observation. So cumulative frequency helps us to determine the total number of observations till that point we have covered these many observations. So this is 12th and this is 13th, right? So this is 12th observation, 12.5, 13 minus 12, this is 12.5. So this is how we have calculated Q1. So similarly, if we see Q3, this would be nothing but 3 n plus 1 by 4th observation. This is 3 by 4 into 49 plus 1th equals to 37.5th observation. So firstly we'll see here. So it's 37 and 38th observation. So 37 and 38th observation both are 15, right? So this turns out to be 15 only. So if you see 37th observation plus 0.5 into 38th minus 37th observation, and these 37th and 38th observation are both 15. Why? Because 34 observations are there till 14, and after 31 to 41 we have observation 15. So 35, 36, 37, 38, 39 and 40, these observations we are covering 15 in these observations. So 37th and 38th both are 50, both are 15. So 15 plus 0.5, 15 minus 15, that is nothing but 15, right? So similarly we'll calculate D6 for an example. So D6 would be nothing, 6 n plus 1 by 4th, here it would be 10th, because this size divide the data sets into 10 parts. So this is 6 into 49 plus 1 by 10. This is 30th observation. So what would be 30th observation? So this would be, so we'll see the frequency, cumulative frequency just greater than 30, that is 34. So in this 14th would be our 30th observation, right? Because till 24 observations we have 13, and 24 to 34 we have 14. So after 25 till 34 we'll have the observation 14. So suppose we calculate P85, it would be 85 n plus 1 by 100. So this would be 85, 50 by 2, 50 by 100, 85 by half. This is not the 8th observation. This is 42.5th observation, right? So if you see, it will lie here. So just frequency greater than 42. So if this is 16, so this is 42 and 43, both the observations turns out to be 16. So our P85 would be nothing but 16. So if we do this also, like 42nd observation plus 0.5 into 43rd minus 42nd, so that turns out to be 16 only, because our 42nd and 43rd observation are 16 only, right? So now we have calculated it for the frequency data also, and now we'll calculated it for a grouped frequency data. So now we'll calculate these partition values for a grouped frequency data. So this is group frequency data, and we have to first calculate the cumulative frequency. So I have already calculated over here. So it would be nothing but 22, 22 plus 38, 60, 60 plus 46, 106, 106 plus 35, 141, and last would be nothing but the total number of observations. So here we have n equals to 160. So firstly we'll calculate Q1. So here what we have to do firstly is to calculate n by 4. In case of Q quartiles, we calculate, so if we are calculating Qk, we would calculate k n by 4. So here it's Q1, so we'll calculate n by 4. So this is 40th, right? And we'll see the cumulative frequency just greater than 40, right? So this is nothing but this 60, right? So this is nothing but the 40th observation. This means, like in earlier cases if we have seen, so we have seen this means that something like 40th observation. So if we see the cumulative frequency just greater than 40, this is 60, right? And this is our class 10 to 20. So our Q1 lies in this class, 10 to 20 class. So Q1 formula is nothing but L1 plus n by 4 minus cumulative frequency upon frequency into I. So we'll see what is each terminology that we have written over here. L1 is the lower limit of this class, which is 10. N by 4 is this value 40, and cumulative frequency is the cumulative frequency just above this class. So this is nothing but 22. So if we see, we can write B means just before that, right? 22. So this is 40 minus 22 and the frequency of that class. So frequency is 38 into I. I is nothing but the length of this interval 10 to 20. So it's the interval is 10. So if you see, this is nothing but 10 plus 18 by 38 into 10, right? So this turns out to be 10, 4.74 equals to 14 point, right? So this is, we have calculated Q1. So now similarly we'll calculate Q3. So I have calculated it here. So for Q3 we'll see 3n by 4. Here we have seen n by 4. Here we'll calculate 3n by 4 and it turns out to be 120. So we'll see cumulative frequency just greater than 120. So just greater than 120, it's 141. And this is our class where Q3 lies. Right? Here Q3 lies. So Q3 would be nothing but L1 plus 3n by 4. So just the difference here would be 3n by 4. Here we are taking n by 4. So here 3n by 4 minus cumulative frequency just before upon frequency into I. So this is 30, the lower limit. 120 is the this value. 106 is the frequency before. 35 is the frequency of this class itself into 10. So this turns out to be 34, right? So just remember that we'll calculate Qk, Kn by 4 first. So now we'll calculate the deciles. So for decile calculation, the rule is similar. So first we have to calculate Kn by 10. Why by 10? Because deciles divides the data set into 10 parts. And then we have to see the cumulative frequency just greater than this calculated value. And then we have to apply this formula to calculate dk. So as an example, we are calculating d8. So firstly we'll calculate 8 into n by 10, and n is the total number of observations, which is 160. So this turns out to be 128th item, right? So we'll see cumulative frequency just greater than 128, and this is 141. So in this class our D8 also lies. Q3 also lies here and D8 also lies, right? So we'll apply this formula L1, which is the lower limit of this class, which is 30. Kn by 4 we have calculated as 8 into 160 by 10. And this cumulative frequency is the cumulative frequency of the above class, just before it, right? So this is 106. And 35 is the frequency. So this f is nothing but the frequency of this class. This is 35, and this 10 is the interval over here. So this turns out to be 30 plus 22 by 35 into 10. This is 36.29. So this is the calculation of deciles, and we can calculate any deciles like D1, D2, D3, any decile using this formula and this rule, right? And lastly, we'll calculate the percentile of this grouped frequency data. So we'll calculate Kn by 100 first, where K is the calculation of Pk, and then we'll just apply this formula, right? So suppose as an example, we are calculating P56. So we'll calculate 56 into 160 upon 100, that turns out to be 89.6th item. So this is 89.6, and the cumulative frequency just greater than 89.6 is 106. So our P56 lies in this class 20 to 30, right? So here we'll apply the formula. This is L1 is the lower limit of this class, which is 20. This 56 is, this Kn by 4 is 56 into 160 upon 100, because K is 56. This 60 is the cumulative frequency of the just above class. So this is our this class here is the one here where which P56 lies, and this is the cumulative frequency just above that. So this is 60, and 46 is the frequency of the class in which P56 lies. So this is 46. So this is 46, right? And then applying the calculations, so our P56 turns out to be 26.43. So what does that mean? So 26.43 is our P56. So this means that 56% of observations are less than or equal to this 26.43, right? So we have calculated these partition values in different cases, right? Hope you have understood each method. Hope you like this video and the content and the way I explained. So please subscribe my channel and like the videos. Keep shining and thank you.